I think it's the hardest thing for the people that I work with. There's a job around every corner. It might be misery. They might not be in a work environment like what we have, but there's a miserable job around every corner that can keep you comfortably uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's why most people can't do it.
This is Secrets for Success.
We're going to do the bald head hour with Greg Todd. Go ahead and tell them.
Jake Edling.
Okay.
Justin Carr.
And you guys all work with us here at Smart Success Health. Here, why don't you tell the people what you do?
Absolutely. So I'm I work in client relations, and I'm kind of the project manager for our higher end clients, making sure everything gets done.
Yeah. And doing a wonderful job with it. All right.
So I am senior client advisor. That is a very sophisticated way of the sales guy.
The sales guy, yeah, the closing guy. Yeah. Every single position is so important. And it's crazy because my brother just reached out to me yesterday, and he was asking me if it's okay when he tells people that he was a part of like my different challenges or my different events. And he was like, hey, are you cool with this? With me getting the credit for all of this stuff? And he's like, a lot of people aren't cool with it. I'm like, bro, I'm totally cool with it. I understand that it takes a team for everything. And if you can't do that and you got to get all the credit for everything, you're never going to be able to blow up. I mean, it might be short-lived, but you're never going to be able to blow up. And I say that because without you, Jake, doing what you do, you have made life so much easier for me that I can have a call with someone, and then I know that you're doing the steps to actually make it turn into action for the people. And Justin, even though you've been with us a short amount of time, like, I can't even tell you how powerful it is, and the authority that it actually gives me that I don't have to do all the sales calls in. So I appreciate the both of you so much. Anyways, with that said, one of the perks of working here, and I have to be honest with you, I've been disappointed in myself because you started about less than a month ago. It's been like 3 weeks or so, right? And I'm like, I've barely had to have any time with you. Like just sitting down and talking with you. When Carly and Madison were here, I got to actually like sit down and get Carly to know me, and I get to know her, you know? But it's not like that anymore because we got so much people now, you know what I mean? It's crazy, and I'm in and out and stuff like that. So anyways, I figured, you know what? Why don't we just all chit chat? Me and you used to do it the first week or two when you were walking with me.
Yeah.
I was in 75R. So I just figured I could answer whatever questions you guys want. I feel like that's one of the perks is that I try to invest in my team. So it's not just about pay, it's about making you better so that you can go on to bigger and better things or stay here and we go on to bigger and better things together. So either way, that's how I try to do things. So anyways, with that said, what questions do you have? We can make this a little mentor hour, you know, bald head guy.
Yeah, there we go. Sure. So like when you coach your inner circle people and your platinum people, a lot of the barriers to their success has been like limiting beliefs and then also like self-worth / belief in themselves. And so they're all, for you, when you started building up your clinics and then moved to online, a lot more exposure was going to come to you, like a lot more like trial and error and just friction, you know, in general. How, like, do you remember that when there was like a certain time that it was like right before a big breakthrough or during a breakthrough that you felt like, all right, boom, like I'm worthy of this, like next jump to this plateau?
I've struggled with that for a long time. I don't struggle with it as much as I used to. I'm not going to say I don't, because as you go to new levels, you kind of get new devils.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah, of course.
But what I can say is this. I can tell you that working with thousands of people now over the last 8 years of doing it online and the last 15 years of just being a consultant, period, I can more accept the success that I've had now because I see how many people quit. And that's one thing. It's one thing. Like for me, I'm a kid from Jamaica. Okay.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any of the things that we have, today. Right. So like all of this, having homes and this and, not having to worry about money and just all those things, that it's still foreign to me. It's still weird, but, and I used to really struggle with, why do I have this and why me? And, did I just get lucky? Am I truly worth it? Do I deserve this? The guilt, just all those things. But now, after trying to expose this to so many people, family members, this, that, and people just not taking the opportunity, and you see them constantly living in fear. You see that the minute that one thing happens to them, they quit. Like now, I actually understand why I have what I have.
And do you think like follow up to that too could be, like through that you have your battle scars and your wounds and you've like all that adversity and you've just like kept going, I feel that that could probably help you kind of validate yourself along the way too. Like maybe like I've put all this work in, so things are starting to happen and it's happening because of I did the work and I didn't quit.
Yeah, I think there's things that are happening to me. There's things that are happening for me. And I understand that the Bible talks about, there is, wisdom is worth more than silver and gold, right? And knowledge is worth more than any type of understanding. And so I understand that when things go bad, there is going to be so many stories and wisdom that I'm going to be able to extract from it. And wisdom is worth much more than gold, right? So I know that when things go bad, there's going to be a story from it that I'm going to eventually be able to profit from. When things are going good, I know that it's more proof and more increased belief in myself that if I can do this, then why can't I do that? So everything kind of works in my favor at this point. I wish I would have understood that before because it's working like that on the front end too.
Yeah.
Just in the beginning, you're like, well, it's just not, I'm not cut out for this or I'm not made for this or whatever. But I understand that today. I've been through enough to know that eventually I'm going to be able to profit from this. And when I say profit, it's not always money. I'm going to be able to help somebody with this. Like,
oh, absolutely.
I remember, and it's funny, we still struggle with the same things. But my wife, it's always been about time with her, right? And when I was going through that in 2004, I was just like, this is like the worst thing ever. Like having to deal with this and like not knowing how I'm going to be able to satisfy her with the time and this and that and da-da-da-da-da. And having to play a game that I never wanted to play. I did not want to play the time game. To me, it's like, hey, if I can get a lateral move with a company and make a little bit more and still work as a physical therapist, that's what I'm going to do, right? But she forced me to have to play a totally different game. And that sucked, or I thought it did. But me playing the time game for all of those years is what has created everything. And so I just understand today that whatever problems I'm dealing with are eventually going to be things that I'm going to profit from.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's all flowed into exactly what I wanted to touch on is the beginning portion. Your wife wanted your time.
Yeah.
Not necessarily financial.
Right.
But it was the time. So in the beginning, what was that like? That thought process that you had to fight those battles when you said, hey, I'm about to stop get out of my comfort zone. I'm going to work and serving, my clients, hey, going traveling for tennis pros, of that nature on tours. How was that in the beginning? How scary was that to overcome those hurdles?
Okay, so let's talk about when I made the decision to leave my job. When I made the decision to leave my job, I truly thought she was going to leave me. So to me, it was knowing that, hey, I'm a physical therapist. I'm pretty sure I can get another gig somewhere else anyways.
Sure.
But I can't get another her. So knowing that she needed me to take some type of action to fix the situation, right? And knowing that because she wanted this as bad as I wanted it, she wasn't going to blame me if it went wrong. And so that right there is huge. Most people can't go after it because they're so afraid that their spouse is going to blame them. So to be honest with you, it wasn't really that scary for me. At the time, she was pregnant with our second child. He's 17 now, right? And so, bro, there was no worse time for me to do this, right? We, didn't have insurance. We were going to have to go on Cobra. And you know how much Cobra is. It's like all this money. And it was just going to be a hot mess. But I knew that if I went after it at that time, because she wanted this as well so bad, even if I failed, I knew that she was going to blame me. Right. So I really wasn't scared. I really wasn't. The simple fact that the support was there. I took out $180K loan off of my home. Back then, the homes they were even more, maybe not as inflated as they are now, but they were pretty inflated. My house, I bought it for $180K. And I was able to get a 360, a 360 line of credit on it. So I had 180 and we just went for it. And that was it. So that part wasn't scary. The part that was scary was a year later, building out the clinic, putting everything together. Like everything looked amazing. Like this version of the podcast studio, it looked awesome. Everything looked so good. And it was just, I was so proud of it. And, now that I look back, it was pretty whack. Bro, we had this little small $35 boombox from Best Buy. I thought I had like a sound system. So anyways, but it felt good in the beginning. And then like 2 months in, I had no clients. And now I was getting scared. I'm like, what did I get myself into? Right. But I remember, and this was a huge moment for me as well. I remember I was at this doctor's office. His name is Dr. Casalino. And he was the 11th office that I went to over the course of 2 days. And every single office told me to get out the office. Like, they just looked at me as a solicitor, And as a physical therapist, I went into physical therapy to not get rejected. Right. And here I am just getting rejected, office to office, doctor's clinic to doctor's clinic. And I remember going into that office and this was number 11, right? I went into the office and the office was full of so many patients, right? Waiting to go in. And I nearly turned around because I knew that if they rejected me, I was going to be rejected in front of all these people, right? And so I went to the front. And as I went to the front to talk to the lady, I started stuttering. So I was like, right? And I couldn't get it out. I was like, I'm here to see Dr. Casalino if he's available. She's like, no, not today. And I turned around and everybody was looking at me. And I just walked out and I went to the car and I started crying. I went to the car and I called my wife and I was like, hey, babe, what's up? She goes, hey, babe, what's up? And she's like, you doing good? I'm like, doing good. and then I just started bawling. I was like, I think I'm just going to come home. She's like, here's the deal, babe. I love you. And I'm so sorry you're feeling that way. I'm so sorry that what happened, but you're not coming home. You got us in this mess. She said, stay out there and get it going until it happens. Come home later, though. And that was it. I just wiped away the tears and I went to the next office. That was the day I was the most scared. But she snapped me out of it, right away. Yeah. And I went to the next office and they rejected me again. And then I went to office number 13 and it set up another meeting with a physician. And that physician and I have worked together for the last 16 years, probably exchanged $1 million. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. So yeah, that was the day I was the most scared. Yeah. But when I started, I wasn't because I was in so much pain. Pain does it, man.
Make you move.
Pain makes you move. Pain makes you. There was no fear. What was the worst that could happen? Lose the girl. Like, that's what would have happened if I didn't do it.
Right.
So, let's go for it. Yeah. I think that's an important thing as you're having these conversations with people, is finding out what pain are they really going through. And getting people to understand, look, this might be the time, this might not be the time. It usually has nothing. You need this. Is your situation painful enough?
Right. Have you gone through enough?
Have you gone through enough?
Felt it.
Have you felt it enough? Yeah. And do you or do you need another year, another dose of hell?
Yeah.
You might need another year of it.
Before I came to you, Greg, I was selling debt resolution programs. People, thousands of dollars in debt.
Wow.
And the main premise is say, hey, you stop paying your bills. You stop paying these creditors. And say in the next 4 years, your debt will be resolved. Your credit may be trash.
Right.
But you won't have any more debt. You can start fresh.
Right.
And that concept right there left people in such shock that they didn't want to move forward. It wasn't because I didn't do my job well.
Right.
Because they didn't feel it. They haven't felt it enough.
Right.
Even people that have done it for the last 10 years, they ain't felt it enough. You need to go another year, like you just said.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people, I want to be the next. I have a client. You'll probably meet her in a couple months, but her name is Kelly Alhui. And everybody, I want to be the next, Kelly Alhui. I was like, do you really want to be the next Kelly Alhui? Because Kelly Alhui was in so much pain. She was in physical pain. She was in emotional pain. And her pain was so heavy that March 12th, she quit her job, not knowing where the next penny was going to come from. Because she felt like she was going to physically die anyway because of how bad her body was feeling and the amount of physical labor that you have to put into being a physical therapist, and doing that for 9 years. And for her, she's never had less than 2 jobs at a time. So she's worked with like Queen Latifah. She's working like all the celebrities, kind of like me, worked with all these different celebrities, working, no day under 12 hours a day. There's no day under 12 hours a day, right? And when I'm working like on the tour, bro, they're all 18-hour days, right? And that's my vacation, by the way. That's my vacation, to leave my job, to go do that for 18 hours, just to come back. And you need to do it because that's the only way. So when you're dealing with that and you're so sick like she was, it's like there was no pain in investing in any program. I already know what the pain was. The pain was, I was feeling the pain. And she's like, giving you the money, immediately made the pain go away for a little bit. Just because it gave me hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And then she's like, but I remember. So I'm like, would you do what she did? March 12th, she quits her job. March 13th, basically the country shuts down. This is in 2020.
Wow.
She goes out and starts hustling. When I tell you hustle, I'm not talking about like talking to people. She got one of those treatment tables, because you're watching the therapist. She got on in treatment tables, went to a trail, because remember now, nobody's going in stores, nobody's going, right? And that's like the height of the pandemic here in America, right? And she's literally screaming at people on the trails, hey, bro, that's pain.
Wow.
That's pain.
Yeah. She didn't dip a toe. She submerged.
She's submerged.
All in.
And she's like, I would rather do this, knowing that there is a small possibility that if I do this long enough, I could get out of the hell that I was in. That's pain. Yeah. Most people just haven't gone through it. I think it's the hardest thing for the people that I work with. There's a job around every corner. It might be misery. They might not be in a work environment like what we have, but there's a miserable job around every corner that can keep you comfortably uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's why most people can't do it.
Now, when you say comfortably uncomfortable, for the listeners, what does that mean?
Comfortably uncomfortable is what 95% of the world lives in, meaning that you hate what you do. There's no ascension to what it is that you do. There's no room for growth, which means that there's no room for you to be able to contribute and give back, right? But it pays. it pays. Yeah. So
a little bit more money.
Right.
More money for the month.
a little bit more money than month. And you're comfortably uncomfortable. You know, every single day you go to bed knowing that I should be doing more. I'm meant for more. I'm not living within my purpose. And you feel that sense of just like slight misery. You're miserable. That's comfortably uncomfortable when it comes to the workplace, right? You hate the people you work with. You're murmuring, right? You're doing all that. Like, that's comfortably uncomfortable. And most people just stay there because and by the way, like today, I'm actually, and a lot of times I'm uncomfortably uncomfortable, right? So basically that is, but I've positioned myself there. I could be comfortably comfortable, which means that I'm just chilling. Yeah. I'm living good. I'm boating every day and whatnot, but that's not where I work the best. I work the best when I'm uncomfortably uncomfortable. Like we're going up to this challenge right now, right? Yeah. Challenge could go absolutely amazing. Challenge could bomb. It's uncomfortably uncomfortable. Love it. Every single month, I take whatever we've done, I take all the revenue out of the company and I put it aside, right? Mostly for taxes, but I put it aside, right? It's uncomfortably uncomfortable. In my mind, I think I'm broke every single month. It's uncomfortable, but that to me is fun. You know, I don't know if I have I have two boys, right? And we were just at Blue Ridge and we were playing pool, right? And I was crushing them.
Who's a shark?
Huh? I'm you know what? I wasn't even trying to be a shark. They know their fathers, right? And then, but just to make things fun, I was like, here's what we're going to do. Take 4 balls off the table, right? Like I just want to make it hard, right? And so I want to make things uncomfortably uncomfortable. Doing 75 hard, uncomfortably uncomfortable, right? Like locking down the accounts every single month, saying, okay, we're going to start from 0, uncomfortably uncomfortable. So that's how I like to operate, but I purposely do that.
So you like putting your back against the wall.
I like to put my back against the wall.
That's where you're best at.
Well, there's no competition if you're not going to do that. You know what I mean? I want to compete. Entrepreneurship's competition. It's competing against yourself, competing against the establishment, competing against, so yeah, I love it.
It's that game, right? It's that, like, you have to have some sort of thing you're pushing for, striving
right
to, or running from, or running towards.
Right.
The challenge coming up, one of the cool things about making money online, not tying your time to money,
right,
is I hear you say this all the time. It's easier to make a lot of money in a short period of time than what is it?
A little money over a long period of time.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just true.
Explain how. So explain how, like, if you have some knowledge in something, like you have a skill, and how would a webinar or an online channel help us to make that a lot of money in a short period of time?
Yeah, I think I say that because that's my reality.
Yeah.
My first job I was selling newspapers for the Sun Sentinel in Fort Lauderdale. Okay. And so I made $12 over 2 weeks. It was a summer, just like this summer, hot as hell. And that was the only job that was available for a 14-year-old kid in the classified section. And this dude came around, this Chinese Jamaican dude came around in this white van, right? And picked us all up. I mean, like, you imagine today, bro, today that's like trafficking central, right? Yeah, my parents were like, okay, go, and take me to the hood in Fort Lauderdale, right?
Billboards.
Okay. Yeah, so $12 over 2 weeks, right? By the way, it was sales. I was trying to sell. I wasn't very good at it, right? So I know what that's like. And then I know what it's like when I worked at TJ Maxx making $3.25 an hour, right?
Yeah.
So, and it was hard work because I was a janitor, right? So it was It wasn't like hard work, but you're cleaning toilets. That's what you're doing, right? Versus today, I could be in a studio, or I can do an event, and in an hour I can make $50,000. Or in 5 days I can do a couple $100K. Or I could do an event over a weekend and make $1 million. It's easier to make a lot of money over a short period of time versus making a very little money over a long period of time. It has to do with the vehicle that you're building to serve people. So I believe in building a vehicle that allows your best skill set that you have. In my case, it's become my mouth to move people to take action. And so that allows me, because I've been able to build that vehicle, work on that skill set, it's allowed me to be able to make a lot of money in a condensed period of time. And most people that have that skill set, they would say that's the truth as well. I just think most people don't work on that skill set. But if you work on it, then that statement rings true. It's rung true for me.
Yeah. Do you homeschool your kids?
Yeah.
Why? I know why.
But I homeschool my kids because I've spent 20 years having to unlearn all the crap that schools taught me that held me back and made me think that I was good. So to me, if I'm going to screw up my kids, I don't want somebody else to do it. I'll do it.
Right.
I also think a couple things too. I think that school trains us to trade time for money. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
So if you think about it, right, you're in class, right? And let's just say you're in elementary school. You got one teacher, right? And the teacher gives you, 2 or 3 things that you have to do throughout the day. So what if I get the stuff done early? Why can't I go home? You realize they teach us how to be average, right? Because if my teacher says, okay, you need to do your multiplication tables, you need to go ahead and name all the states on the western side of the U.S., and then you need to go and you need to do your vocabulary words or whatever. Right? What if I did all those things? Why can't I go home? But it don't work like that. So it doesn't matter how good you are, it doesn't matter how bad you are, everybody's leaving at the same time. Yeah. So they're literally training you to be average. Punch that clock. Right, punch that clock. Whereas the way that I train my kids, and this is the main reason why I be homeschooled, is that if you get your work done, it's just about getting the job done. So I'm teaching them how to be solutions-based. Just get the job done, right? If you need to go and take care of something at home, you need to go do this, bro, I don't care. Just get the job done. Do it wherever you want to do it. Just get the job done. That's it. And so, I don't feel like school actually endorses that. And so it's training people that you really don't need to be good at anything. All you need to do is just exist.
Yeah, it's a generalized thing.
Yeah.
On the platinum call today, you coach your inner circle team every week.
Yeah.
Coach your platinum team every other week.
Yeah.
And then you even have a higher level that you get a lot of time on.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned a story about your daughter. She actually bought one of your courses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you, in 2 minutes, explain what she did, what it was, how she made her money back?
Yeah. So my daughter, this is in 2020. I had, it was called Smart Success Healthcare, and the course was $3,000, right? And at that time, my daughter was doing a YouTube channel.
Oh, how old was she then?
She was 18 or just about to turn 18. So, she was 19. She was 17. She was 17. She's 20 now. So this is in 2020, and she was doing her YouTube channel, and she had gotten her first brand deal. But when I say brand deal, she didn't get any money. She just got some makeup stuff or whatever. And so, but she kind of felt stuck. And she's listening to me say things and this and that, da-da-da-da-da. And she's like, I want to join your program. I was like, cool. Good for you. She's like, will you let me in the program? I was like, I sure will. $3,000. And so she said, okay, I want to do it. And she came to me a day later and brought her entire game plan of how she was going to pay. She had some money from her grandparents, like $300. When she babysat for us, she made a little money, here and there, whatever. So she came up with a whole spiel of this is how I'm going to pay it. And she paid the entire thing back. She showed up for every single call. She did all the homework and she implemented everything. And so she took everything that she learned from me. She made connections with the people. She made connections with some of the people that are now in my inner circle that were in that same program where they started with me. Kelly Alhui was one of them. Mary Costco was another one. And she made connections with all those people. And by the end of the course, she decided, and she had her own coach, because I had, private coaches at that time too in the program. And she created her own course. And she made $4,500 over the course of launching that program. Wow. So she made 50% return on her money. And she understood the power of self-education. That you could actually, if you take the program and you trust the person that's doing the program, I'm hoping she trusts her daddy, right? And you implement it, this is a world where you can make a lot of money if you implement it. The problem is, and this is why it comes up, why do I homeschool my kids? Because look how long I had to unlearn all the crap I learned in school. A lot of people think that if they just show up to the course, they listen to it, that magically things are going to happen. And I think the reason why my daughter was probably in the top 20 to 30% of people of results from that program in that shorter period of time. I mean, people have made a lot of money, since then. Yeah. But for that shorter period of time, is because I think we took her out of school in ninth grade. We said, this is how it's going to work. If you learn something, you're going to apply that thing. Okay? You're going to apply it right away. And she did that. And I think that's why she did well. I think most people think that if I just learn and I consume it and I learn about it, I'm going to get results. I tell them that I'm not doing any type of perfect attendance award at my event. My event, the scoreboard is your bank account. If you don't do the work, your bank account ain't going to change. So
does she still have the business up?
No, she stopped it. So she was doing TikTok, like a TikTok course, and she made $4,500 in 2 months. And then she went to school. And I literally said to her, I was like, you do realize that you could take this. She's like, oh, no, Daddy, I can't wait to go to college. I was like, okay, cool. So, all right, we'll see what happens now. But yeah, who knows what would happen?
Yeah.
You brought on several your family members on here, man, and they, whether, you're not about giving out any free tickets. You treat everybody.
Yeah, no, I'm not giving up. Well, because I know you won't pay attention.
Right.
I know you won't pay attention. So and what am I doing as a father if I am giving that to her? Right. I'm telling her self-education is worth nothing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
The whole concept of investing in yourself.
You've got to learn how to invest in yourself. It's the greatest gift that I can give. The greatest gift I can give my kids is just having them watch me. It's not me telling them anything. Because let's face it, our kids aren't really listening to us all the time, right?
No.
But just watch me. Just watch what I do. And I know that it's going to resonate. But yeah, I'm not giving you any program. You're not going to pay attention to it. The best thing you can do is pay. And I think because that $3,000 hurt her more than it hurt a lot of the other people, that's why she did so well.
17 years old, $3,000.
Yeah. That's not chump change. So yeah, so that's it.
And how excited are you for this next challenge?
Man, I'm excited because every single time. So what this challenge does, any challenge I do, challenge, webinar, live event, everybody wins as long as they show up, right? I will give people an offer during the challenge, but I tell people from the get-go, I'm like, here's the deal. There's going to be two things that's going to happen from this challenge, okay? Number one is that your perspective on everything when it relates to money is going to change, okay? All right? And that's the first thing that's going to happen. Number two is I'm going to sell you on an offer. But if I don't do number one, do not buy anything from me that week and never buy anything from me again. Okay? But if I do number one, then with number two, you would be silly not to buy from me. And so that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited that people's perspectives are going to change. And then there's going to be some people that not only their perspective going to change, they're going to take action. You know, I understand that there will be more people that don't, but every single person that I've ever helped online, I would, okay, maybe I should say every single person, 99% of the people that I've helped online, that I've been able to help make hundreds of thousands of dollars, it has been because of a challenge or a webinar or a live event. So I know somebody's life going to change.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to win big, and we're going to be like, bro, you remember the RYI challenge in 2023? Bro, you remember that? You remember that? Yeah, and like, yeah, bro, yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, it's exciting. Yeah.
Be able to participate in and be a part of.
Yeah, man, it's so cool, man. It is so cool if you can just understand like the struggle these people are feeling and all the things that like you're listening to a lot of my stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
All on every day.
And bro, the things that these people are hearing from us, just understand they're hearing it for the first time.
Yep.
And some of them are 50, 60, 70. Bro, I got somebody in my program and I was like 78 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
At 78 years.
At 78, yeah.
Watched. Hey, you need to keep working for somebody.
You need to keep working for somebody, this, that, da. Bro, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So, you know, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing to be able to do that and do that in a condensed period of time, you know? And yeah, I'm excited.
The magical thing, I don't know how much more time we have, but the really awesome thing that I see that you impact people with right away is you take the owner of a clinic and you show them how to stop trading their treatment. It's treatment this, X amount of treatments, you know, and you show them how to put in an offer. And it's like a bundle, right? Like an average is 8 to 12 times people get better.
Right.
And it's an X amount of money. If 100, let's just say it's 100 times 8, it's $800.
Yeah.
Well, for $1,200, I'll get you better and maintain you for 6 months after. Like that's just mind blowing to those people.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that the first thing that I want to do with every single one of my clients is make them not be a commodity, right? Like I don't want them to be looked at as, if you go to the supermarket and you see this peanut butter over here and you see this one over here, and if you don't care about peanut butter, what are you looking at? You're like, all right, this one's $285, this one's $264. All right, right? I want to have something. So now if you see Jif, and you're a big Jif fan, and Jif is $319, and then you got the Publix one over here, that's $264, $284. But you're a Jif brand, you're buying a Jif, right? Okay. Well, here's the problem. The problem is that everybody has commoditized themselves, meaning that they are all basically doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
This one over here, this one over here has got it's charging $200 a session. This one over here is charging $160. This one over here is charging $140. This one's charging $150. And then they're like, gosh, man, I'm so different. I did all this training. I did all this stuff in school. I'm so different, and nobody sees that. I'm like, they don't see it because you haven't positioned yourself as different. So the first thing I do with them is say, let's take what you're doing right now and let's turn it into an offer. And let's bundle it together. And let's add things online. And let's add this. And let's add a collaboration with this person so that now we're not comparing apples to apples. Now, you might not care for what I have, but you can't compare me to anybody else. See what I'm saying? You can't compare me, right? So it's what I do in business. Like, it's no different than what I've done here. It's like, I just look at what everybody in marketplace is doing, and I said, okay, we got to do something totally different. Like, that's it. And I'll do the same thing for my clients. So if you can do it, that's just one way for them to raise their income. So I know there's so many different ways to do it because I've done it. And you get to share it with people. It's a blessing. Like, even if nobody buys it, who cares? Like, bro, you get to show people stuff. And obviously people are going to, it'd be stupid not to,
Yeah.
but you get to show people these things and it changed their life, man. And then they make more money and they use the money to live life, and not just taking the money and blowing it, but like, man, if you can make the same amount of money you're making, instead of working 80 hours a week, you work 40. Or instead of working 60, you can work 30. Bro, you just got back half your life.
Yes.
You got back half your life, bro.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
So for like $3K, like for a couple grand, is that not worth it?
That's worth it.
Like it's so worth it. It's like, bro, I just gave you like half your life. Like, what do you want to do in your time? I don't know. Go to Disney World.
Whatever you do. But then you got jokers out here playing the lotto hoping.
Huh? Yeah, man. Because that's the world we live in. The world we live in here. And this is the thing. I try to base a lot of what I do off of the Bible, and off of Hebrew. And there's a book called Business Secrets from the Bible by Rabbi Daniel Lapin. It's out there in the lobby. And one of the things that's very interesting is that in the Bible, there's nothing taught that ever talks about winning. I'm talking about like winning as in the lottery. Every Hebrew term when it comes to gaining money is earning. So that term did not come from Hebrew, did not come from the original languages.
Right.
It came from us creating winning. And if you look at societies that are struggling right now, including America, it's all about winning. It's about getting something that you never earned. You didn't put the sweat equity, so everybody's waiting. So if you feel like there's an opportunity for you to win, you wait. My time will come, bro. I just got to get the right 6 numbers, bro. Bro, it's going to happen. We're 23 years in this. Every Friday, bro, I'm playing it. I'm in there. Man. So that's the thing. It's just understanding those things where people are waiting to wait. They're waiting for somebody to give it to them instead of actually earning it. There you go. All right.
Awesome.
That's good.